What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here today to talk about the Housewives of Dubai, Season 1, Episode 10, Girls Trippin'. So be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll jump around into it. So we start with Stanbury, and she's packing for a Hen Weekend, just a little weekend away at this beautiful island. It's called Nurai Island. And she was gifted this weekend away by one of her, as a wedding present. And so she's like, let me take the opportunity to make it a cast trip. And so yeah, she's doing that, and Sergio, he's all clingy. He's like, baby, can I go with you? Like, can we go? She's like, no, it's a hen weekend. Like, no husbands allowed. And he's like, baby, please. Like, we just got married. I die. Like, please. And she's like, no, end of that. Like, end of the story. And we were kind of talked about how, like, Sergio's at all of the events. Like, he showed up at the indoor skiing event with, like, Stanbury, Brooks, Phaedra, and Lesa. Like, he's at everything. He's very involved. And Stanbury in the confessional, she says that it's that his clinginess is a quality problem to have. She says that she's used to, like, the British kind of approach to it. And she says that's, like, with the men, they're like, oh, like, we just got married, whatever, see you later. Like, they're a little bit more cold, like how Stanbury is. But she's like, no, he wants to be all up under me, and she said it's a nice problem to have, She's like, oh, cut the umbilical cord. And he's like, what's the umbilical cord? And she has to explain what the umbilical cord is to him. It's like, even in Spanish, it's like, it's a cognate. It's like, I'm not gonna say it's like, cordon umbilical, like, it's something like that. But it's a cognate, not for sure. And so it's like, even, it's not like, I think he genuinely does not know what umbilical cord is. Like, it's just like, oh my God. It's like, do you not know about, like, how people are made? Like, it's just so, because this on top of what you said a couple weeks ago, like when he was like, oh, yeah, we can just let the baby cook in Stanbury for a bit, and if there are any problems, we can take it out. And it's like, bro, what? Like, and put it in someone else. And I don't know, it's just so weird. But yeah, so that's with that. And then we segue over to Sara, and she's linking with a homie to go ride quads and ATVs in the dunes and shit. And oh my gosh, so when I was younger, like, my dad and his family, they used to be all in that, because we have sand dunes not too far from where I live. Very similar, like, it's just like all these dunes and shit. We used to go out there a bit. We stopped when I was still fairly young. I'll get into the reason in a little bit. But yeah, and then she's looking up. She makes a big how-do about jumping the fence, because, like, there's a little fence area. So, like, you know me, I don't go through the gate, I jump the fence. And it's like, oh my God, like, Sarah's such one of those bitches who'd wear, like, one of those fucking, like, oh, a free spirit, wild heart, like, oh, I'm a wild flower, like, she's like, oh, who needs gates? I can jump the fence. Like, she's such a fucking, like, one of those that's getting annoying a little bit. We see that Sara also invited Brooks to go out riding, and, while they're on their quads, Brooks, she falls off, and the quad, like, tips over, so Brooks falls off, and the quad tips over, but it, like, lands right side. It doesn't tip over or anything. And it's like, that shows how dangerous quads are. It's like, that could have fucking rolled onto Brooks. So she wasn't, like, it could have rolled onto Brooks, you know what I mean? And that's why we stopped fucking with quads, because both of my dad's sisters got injured from, like, while riding out there. One of them was, like, a completely freak accident caused by someone else. She's okay, though, but, like, the other one, she's just being dumb, and but either way, it just kind of speaks to the danger of, that recreational activity. Because, yeah, like, we saw on TV, like, it, like, literally tipped over, and I was like, oh, fuck, like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, it's fun, I'm from the desert and everything, but that shit's dangerous, you know what I mean? I believe the four-wheelers are especially because of that reason, because they can tip over and shit. But anyway, so they do that, it goes all well, and they ride up to somewhere for, like, a little picnic in the desert. They say it's 98 degrees, and I'm like, I hope it's probably, like, a dry heat, because how it is here, like, we have a dry heat. Like, when I was living in Vermont, it was, like, a lot less, like, the temperature was lower than in the desert, obviously, but the humidity was so high, it would be bad, you know what I mean? So here, it's, like 115 degrees, but the humidity is, like, pretty low, you know what I mean? So it feels different, It's not like, because it's, like, 85 degrees with high humidity, that is miserable, but I'm sure it's dry desert heat. Sara talks about how, like, she's there for books. She's there for Brooks. She kind of speaks on, like, the rough patch that they recently had. They're all good now, though, and in present time, they're good. Basically, Brooks, Sara, Nina, and Caroline Stanbury they're all like a little squad, and then Lesa and Ayan are on the outskirts. Not on the show right now, but like in present time, like going off of social media and like what they're saying and everything. But yeah, and then Sara and Brooks, they say that they kind of have different approaches to getting close to people. Sara, she's like, oh, if you notice, I like Sara's type to like tight hugs and like try to get to know you really quickly, and Brooks is more kind of standoffish. She needs time to kind of get close to people. So there's different approaches to it. Brooks is a bit more like reasonable, I feel, to be honest. Then it kind of segue to kind of how they're both what they have in common, how they both kind of healing from failed marriages. And Brooks talks about how her ex changed her. He caused her to kind of put these guards up, put this wall up, because she met him when she was pretty young. She was doing an internship in New York City, so she was like 21, 22. And so, she started very super young. It ended badly, and so it really changed her. And Sara tells her, she's like, don't let pain sharpen your edges, let it soften them. And she tells her, you have a sister in me, whatever you need, just kind of really being there. And again, I'm kind of over Sarah's, like, again, I think, who said it? I think it was Lesa who said it, about Sara being a whole, like, Instagram, like, she's Instagram motivational quote, you know what I mean? That's exactly what Sara is. So I'm kind of getting annoyed by it, but it's a good moment, you know, to see her and Brooks, bonding, which is good, especially after the rough patch they just had. So now we see the ladies, they're squatting up and they're getting ready to head out for the hen trip. We see that Nina's son made her a little goodie bag. It's like an Among Us goodie bag, and she's like, "Aw," because Nina says she like never travels without her kids, like, and so this is a new thing for her, and it's like, oh my gosh, it was really cute. So they go, they all get in the car, they go for a drive, and then they take a boat to go to Nurai Island. Ayan is very excitable on the boat. She's being very extra and a little annoying with the singing. She's like, oh, Carolina, like Nina, Sarah, like just doing all this singing and just like it's very off key, it's off tune, whatever you want to say it, but it's being a little annoying with it. It's just like, oh my goodness. But, hey, it is what it is. We got, she's being herself, and she's excited. It's excitable. They get there, and it's a beautiful villa. It is $50,000 a night. Stanbury says that the King of Spain lives there. Prime ministers from all around the world stay there. It's a very luxurious resort. All the rooms are beautiful, and although there's this one room that's, with these weird futuristic bunk beds. It's this wall, and then there are these 4 oblong openings, and those are it looks like an astronaut. It's very futuristic. God, I would show you guys, but it's I would get copyright claim because Dubai background music for some reason results in copyright claims. It can never work. So I'm fuck it, I won't do it for this one. But yeah, and Sarah, she chose to stay in that room. She's like, I don't want to. Let's avoid conflict to keep shit calm. I have no problem with this room because it would have been a problem with literally anyone else from any other franchise. You know what I mean? We're kind of going around seeing all the ladies' rooms. Ayan, she's gushing over Lesa's room. She's like, oh wow, Lesa, your room is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, just hyping her up and kind of acknowledging her room and just oh, it's so beautiful, praising it, whatever. Brooke, she tells Ayan to shut the fuck up, and so she's like, Ayan, shut the hell up. And she's like, get your tongue out of Lisa's ass. And Ayan's like, what? And it's kind of weird. So there's a weird little in-between moment where Lesa in her confessional, because, again, we're kind of going around the rooms and stuff, and we see that Stanbury and Nina are sharing a room. And Lesa, she's like, I think that Nina's cozying up to Stanbury because Nina feels intimidated by my friendship with Ayan. Because I guess Nina and Lesa used to be very, very close. And then Lesa and Ayan started getting really close, and so Lisa's like, oh, I think Nina feels threatened by that, so she's with Stanbury. And it's like, well, bitch, why can't she just be cozying up to Stanbury in the same way you're cozying up to Ayan? You know what I mean? Why can't it just be organic? It's just, I don't know. It's it seemed very, I don't know, because Ayan and Lesa have been the fan favorite team, but now we're starting to be especially towards the end of the episode with Ayan. And yeah, it's just a very, and then Brooks and Ayan, they continue going at it, and Ayan, she's like, why would my tongue be in Nina's ass? Like, why would it be there? And she just stuck on that. It was very similar to how on Beverly Hills, Diana, when after Sutton called Diana a motherfucker, Diana was like, I just couldn't stop thinking, like, oh, I fucked my mother? Like, what? Like, it's just funny, like, it's becoming, like, some phrases and shit, like, when speaking to, someone whose, mother tongue is a different language in English, you know what I mean? It's like, like, sometimes it's just, but I thought it was funny. So yeah, now everyone's all settled in. They're all getting ready for dinner. Brooks goes to go do Ayan's hair. And while they're together, Ayan reiterates that her tongue has never been up someone's ass. Again, she's just so stuck on it. And then Brooks, she kind of addresses how Ayan is Lisa's chorus, how Ayan's consistently, like, reverberating or affirming whatever Lisa says, and just kind of just being her chorus, essentially, just like continually chiming in. Ayan, she's like, that's just who I am, you know. It's like, she's basically like, I'm not Build-A-Bitch, you can't just pick and choose what you like. This is who I am, and as my friend you should accept that, just like how I accept you and who you are. So they make up, and then we, you know, as we know, their whole like love-hate relationship, you know, whatever. Then Lee's at the table. Ayan, she's shit-talking Nina and Stanbury because they're both wearing pajamas at the dinner table. And it's like, dress up, you're a girl. And it's like, oh, girl. And then once at the table, Sara, she, like, follows their lead. She's like, I'm gonna go change as well. So Sara goes in changing her pajamas. Turns out like a little pajama dinner, but Ayan and Lisa are still all dressed up. They eat Lebanese food, and Nina, she arranged for some dancers to come through, and, like, I guess, like, Lebanese, they came for, like, 5 minutes, it seemed, just to come do a little performance. So just to give the Lebanese a vibe, you know? So they perform, and after dinner, Ayan, Lisa, and Brooks, Brooks, she's also not in pajamas. Ayan, Lisa, and Brooks, they go upstairs, go change into pajamas, and they all have to prepare for a little game night. It's really good vibes, to be honest. Like, this trip was really good vibes up until the last few minutes. They're playing Never Have I Ever, and we find out that Stanbury has had a one-night stand. Brooke, she slept with someone's husband before. And Lisa has tried anal, and she hated it. So that's what we find out about some of the girls. They play 2 truths and a lie, but it seems like they more do 2 lies and a truth, from what it sounded like. So something along those lines. And from that, we find out that Lisa has her clit pierced. And Brooke, she dated a president-elect who was married. I don't know if he was, I don't know if she met from the United States or from somewhere else, but I'm assuming the U.S. But she didn't specify. But she's from the U.S. Who knows? It could be from anyone. They play this balloon game where, like, these two have to pop a balloon without using their hands, essentially. And Ayan dominates. She just puts it in front of her, just humps, and just fucking bah, bah, bah. Like, Ayan is just dominating that shit. Now it's Nurai Island, day 2. The girl's just kicking it in the morning. Ayan, she's already getting her glam done while everyone else is just getting out of bed. She's talking to her makeup artist about her and Brooks' love-hate relationship. And then Ayan, she says she thinks that Brooks is kind of jealous over how close Ayan and Lisa are. So Lisa thinks Nina is jealous of their relationship, and Ayan thinks that Brooks is jealous. And it's like, what? Oh my God. Maybe, you know, maybe there's something to it, but it's just like, that's the risk. If you ever accuse anyone of, like, jealousy or being envious, you're going to get some, like, bitch, what? Like, what is there to be jealous of? Like, you know what I mean? That is, like, a given. But yeah, so it's like, okay, ladies, so Ayan and Lisa think they're hot shit. And then Ayan, Sara, and Nina, and Lisa, they're at the table. They're discussing Jinn, like, spirits. And fun fact, that's actually where the word genie comes from Jinn, like Jinn in Arabic. But it's, like, essentially spirits. And Lisa tells a story about how her brother, who's really her cousin, but he was raised as her brother, you know what I mean? He was killed, and Lisa, he's killed in the United States, I think in Miami. And Lisa, while in Dubai, she was having dreams, and she helped solve his the murder case through her dreams. So she says that he's, like, giving her messages and shit. And, you know, I really believe, I don't, like, in getting every now and then I'll have like a weird ass dream. Then when I wake up, kind of like try to decode it. If I remember it, it's like it's something like I need to hear. You know what I mean? It's nothing like, oh, like help me solve murder cases. But yeah, I mean, it's something like helpful. And my mom has had similar experiences where she has dreams and she has people like it's this whole thing. So I really believe in that. What do you guys feel about that? Like, I don't know. Yes, Lisa saying that she solved the murder case through her dreams is a bit extreme, but like just the general idea of getting messages in your dreams, whether from deceased family members or from a higher power, or just from your own, from your own subconscious. But I don't know. I like it. I find comfort in that. And plus, every now I had a weird dream last night and woke up and I'm not gonna go into detail about that, but it was just like, wow, just I'm just rambling at this point. Let's keep going. The Carolines enjoying the table. The ladies, they kind of discuss the plans for the day. They're gonna go to this rosé place that also has this wave machine. They get to this rosé place, but it's really like just a fucking bar. It's like when they said rosé, it's like, oh, a rosé tasting, like on Beverly Hills, like they just recently had. But no, it's just like this fucking beach bar. You know what I mean? So going to this bar, it has this like wave machine, and Ayan talks about her hydrophobia. She says that she thinks she drowned in a past life. That's another thing. I like thinking about like past lives and like reincarnation, bitch. Like, I don't know. It just seems fun. It seems cool, like just comforting knowing like, oh, I've lived this earth before, bringing my experiences. I don't know. It's not like a hippie bitch, but I swear I'm not. Like, the ladies bike to the beach bar, and Stanbury's very excited for everyone to eat shit on the wave machine. Stanbury, Brooks, Sarah, and Lisa, they're having fun on the machine, while Ayan and Nina, they're just chilling, eating and drinking, just on the sidelines. Like, nope, not for us. It's really good vibes, though. It's nice, good vibes. It's a really good time so far. Then we get back to the resort, and the ladies are getting ready for dinner on day 2. And then we see a moment of Lisa and Ayan. They're hyping each other up one-on-one. So that really shows that, like, how they hype each other up and shit, and how Ayan serves as Lisa's chorus, as Brooke says. It's not for show, it's not for the audience. It's like, they just do that shit. Just hype each other up. Just hype each other's, like, looks up and shit. So that was kind of cute. And then they all sit at the table. Just some banter going on. Brooke says her ass cheeks are out. I don't know if that's appropriate at the dinner table. Just a little funny moment. And we found that Ayan, she likes hot water. It's like, she tells the waiter, oh, I like hot water with lemon, like a jug of hot water right here. And I wonder if that relates to, like, because I know there's some people who believe that, like, drinking cold liquids help cause you to get sick, like, or is unhealthy. I know people whose, like, grandparents and parents believe in that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know it's a common, like, not wanting to drink cold things. I don't know. I wonder if that's the case with her. But anyways, at the table, ladies then kind of begin talking about how Sergio is just super sensitive. Ayan, she, like, brought up how Sergio, he, like, posted something on Instagram about him, like, crying, missing Stanbury. I think it was, like, his Instagram story or some shit about him just being upset. And Stanbury said that she manifested him. I think she meant that, like, she manifested, like, someone completely different from what she was used to. Because then Stanbury's talked about how the upper crust British people are and how they're so cold and prickly, and she's like, wants something different. And she gets Sergio's emotional ass, you know? Yeah, she says she manifested him, and Brooke, she asks for the blueprint, essentially, how she can go about manifesting her dream man. And Stanbury, it seems like she kind of tried to sidestep it a bit, but she essentially told Brooks, like, oh, girl, like, you're asking for the blueprint, but you're doing your own blueprint, because she tells her, from my experience, it takes a very special kind of woman to be able to keep a business relationship with her exes, her ex-husband and her ex-boyfriend, alluding to Brooks, because both of her ex-husband and her ex-boyfriend are investing in her spa. And so, again, it seemed like Stanbury's trying to sidestep the question, but also be like, girl, you're doing your own shit. You're on your own blueprint, and you're on your own thing, because I can't do that. And in turn, Sarah, she jumps in, and she's like, oh, well, but Brooke, she doesn't need anything from anyone. She can do anything on her own. And Stanbury's like, oh, well, why shouldn't she take the help? Why should she throw the entire man away? Why shouldn't she keep the business relationship open and benefit from that? And Sarah's response is, if a man is paying you, then he's in control of you, blah, blah, blah. And then In turn, the girl, it seems like everyone at the table, except for Nina and Lisa, they're kind of like out of it a little bit. The peacemakers are kind of like staying silent. All the other girls talking about it all at once and shit. And Ayan, she compares it. She's like, oh, well, you know, I depend on my husband a lot, you know, so it's like the same thing, isn't it? Like, it seems like Ayan was siding with Sarah, being like, oh, yeah, you know, like, you're depending on him. Like, I depend on my husband, blah, blah, blah. And Stanbury, she's like, oh, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. She's, like, refuting it. And then Stanbury, she says something like, oh, Ayan, if you have your own business, she begins saying that sentence. And Ayan, she's like, I do have my own business. I do have my own business, just so you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, my gosh. So it's clear that Stanbury was like, she wasn't talking to Ayan like, oh, if you had your own business, blah, blah, blah. It was not like that. It was like a hypothetical, like, if you have your own business, you know, like, trying to make a point. But Ayan just interrupted her, took it the completely wrong way. She was triggered, if you will. And then Stanbury, she kind of makes her point. She's like, there's a difference between being dependent and being an investment. Like, you know what I mean? So she kind of clarifies that. But Ayan keeps on going. She says that she feels as though Stanbury try to take a dig at her, because Ayan, she's like, I feel like I've talked to you about what I do a lot of times, and I feel like you just try to take a dig at me and imply that I don't have my own business. And to be fair, it's like, well, you're a model, you know, so obviously it's your own, you are your brand, you are your business, but like, I don't know, she just keeps on going, she's really upset. Brooke, she kind of clocks that Ayan could be insecure, she says that in the confessional. But yeah, Ayan, she just makes it a point to kind of have to tell Stanbury how hard she's worked, how many businesses she has, how she's that girl. But that wasn't the case at all. Like, she didn't even let Stanbury finish her point. And like I said, I can't really include the video, but I'm telling you, Stanbury wasn't asking it in like a shady way. She wasn't being shady about it. She was just like trying to make a point. And it wasn't even like a shady point, like fucking, it wasn't like what Jackie on New Jersey did last season. It wasn't even anything like that. It was just like trying to make a valid point. But yeah, and then she ends up saying, oh, you know what because Stanbury says, oh, I wasn't trying to take you down. And Ayan's like, oh, you can't take me down because I'll always be on top. And then she's like, oh, and if we go down to it, I'm much more successful than you are. And it's like, what the fuck? It was just out of nowhere, completely like uncalled for and unfounded. And it was just like, girl, whatever. And it's like, I don't even know. And it was a to be continued. So it was left unresolved till next episode. But it was like totally out of nowhere. Again, it's going to be a case of like, oh, Ayan being triggered and blah, blah, blah. And it was just so unnecessary. And at one point, Stanbury tells Ayan to shut up. And we saw that in the preview last week. And made Stanbury seem like the villain. Like, but no, Ayan had to shut up. It was like, girl, like, shut up. Like, fuck. Just like Caroline Stanbury said, like, early in the episode, it's like, Ayan, shut the fuck up. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, she was going in on Stanbury, and for no reason. So it isn't even like, oh, you know, she told that bitch. It was like, what? Like, she's making problems out of nothing. You know what I mean? But anyway, so that's the end of the episode. It was an okay, you know, it was, the first, like, 3/4 of it was, like, a really good, it was, like, good vibes and everything, but it was, like, just so stupid in the last quarter, you know what I mean? It just kind of killed my whole vibe for the whole episode. It was just, like, ugh. Because, again, it wasn't even, I don't know. But anyway, it's, like, Stanbury was in the right, I'm just gonna say it, you know, Ayan was just looking for fucking problems. And yeah, it could be she was triggered, but it's like, girl, shut up and just chill. Like, and yeah, I came to the episode fully prepared to, like, be against Stanbury, but I was like, no, I am with Stanbury on this one. But yeah, so again, that's it for this episode. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thank you again for watching. Bye.